everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing a 2018 top 5 indie decks in my collection. And these were decks that, for as far as I know, were sent out first edition 2018. So basically I like to consider they were born on their first shipment out, whether they were a Kickstarter or just like a pre-order situation. So let's get started. We'll start off with the first deck that I got in 2018 that was born or sent to me in the earlier part of 2018, and that was the Numinous Tarot. And you'll probably hear me talk about the Numinous quite a bit in terms of my favorites, because it really is a favorite of mine, and I enjoy this deck. I still keep it in the box. It did come with this, which Noel, the deck creator, asked our opinion on what we, would appreciate and what we care most about. And so everyone was able to vote on what we cared about. And that's the beauty of Kickstarters and crowdfunding decks, is that usually the creator is asking, here's the backs, asking for feedback, and then they respond in kind to the feedback that they receive. And so I had a really great Kickstarter experience with this deck and with the creator. So I was very pleased with my experience with it. And I love this deck. I work with it a lot, especially once I got it, and then on into the summer. I just felt like really called to use it like in the warmer months of the year for some reason, although I'm sure it works fine throughout the year. But I just felt called to use it as a more spring and summertime type of deck. So yeah, I won't keep going because, like I said, you're probably going to see this deck come up quite a bit in my top whatevers of 2018 videos. So I'll put that away so I don't run out. And then here, I'll show you, it came with a guidebook. And I love, again, how everything can fit. Although, it'd be nice if it was a smaller box, but this is cool. It's a nice large tuck box that has held up the many times that I have gone into grabbing this particular deck out. See, should I even attempt to do this now? No. I probably should wait before I tear up something. That's just what I will do. I will follow my instincts and wait. Alright, so then the next deck in my top 5 decks that were born, top 5 indie decks, is my Textured Tarot. And it actually came in a lovely not large tuck box, but actually the tuck box fit the book and the deck perfectly. But because I knew I was going to use this deck a lot, I ended up getting a cover for it. One of these little deals. So, and I love them. I love that. Can you see that? Okay. Here's the textured. This is what the box would have looked like if I had it downstairs. Love this deck. Love, 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 love. That's the backs. It's a thick cardstock. And again, there's pluses and minuses to that. How I riffle shuffle is by breaking it up into sections to riffle shuffle the thicker cardstock here. I love this deck. I love reading with it. I love looking at it. I love the guidebook. Images are amazing. It plays nicely with other decks. I also use this quite a bit in the summertime. I love that King of Swords. It's all-inclusive, just like the Numinous Tarot is also all-inclusive. As you can start to see, there will be not necessarily a theme, well, kind of a theme with these decks that I collect. Maybe not just necessarily in this video, but in other decks. I do appreciate a deck that has more diversity. but I also, in my collection and in this video, for example, have period pieces that don't necessarily have a bunch in the way of diversity, but I give some creative liberty for that. Let's see, that's the Ace of Pentacles. I love that. Simple. Now the King of Wands. And here's the Lovers. And then here is the Six of Swords. Oh, and one more. Eight of Swords. Or, yeah, Eight of Swords. She's all cut up. So, yeah, love the textured tarot. Here's the guidebook. And a number of things sold me on this particular deck. I mean, the look of... I even like the backs. I know it's not a fan favorite for everyone. I like the backs. I loved the size of the tarot. I love the images. I love the fact that the tuck box and the book and the deck can fit in a smaller size box, which takes up less real estate on my shelves. And I appreciate it. All of that. It's such a beautiful deck to work with. People respond well when I work with it, like when they see it. The only downside is I do a lot of video readings, and so it's kind of hard to see them because, you know, they're on the smaller side of the tarot. Not terribly small by any stretch, but if you're doing video readings and doing larger spreads, it can kind of, it's a plus and a minus. It's not a bad thing necessarily. It could be good if you do larger spreads, so you could fit more cards, but then you lose some of the detail, or, you know, when you're showing on the video. So then next up, for now number 3, is the Moonchild Tarot. The Moonchild, again, will be one that pops, just like the textured. Actually, all of these, with the exception of a couple, the last two, will be in my top 10 of the year that I like to use and that I love and all that jazz. I had an interesting coming to this deck. I wasn't necessarily going to get it, but I did early on join the pre-order, I think it was. I can't remember if it was Kickstarter or pre-order now. They're all starting to run together. But I ordered it early on. But that was after really struggling back and forth on getting the Star Child for years. Like, editions came and went, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to take the plunge. I would see secondhand ones, but then they would sell out quickly, so then I didn't get a chance to get it secondhand. So it never worked out for the Star Child, and with me and the Star Child. But the Moonchild, I said, I just have a feeling that that one would resonate well with me. You know, it's like this matte. I wish you could touch it. It's just so luxurious. It is one of my most luxurious decks that I own, I think. I really do. I'm like looking around, looking at the other decks. It is. I mean, look at the gilding. It's that, like, it's like matte, like gold gild. Here's the backs. It's just so amazing. And like I said, I think I said in my December favorites video, I'm pretty sure that I'm normally not a fan of just people staring at me in tarot cards. I don't know, I'm just kind of weird that way. But for some reason, I don't really mind this one as much. Because they're not necessarily, I mean, they are kind of still staring off into the distance. But intuitively, I can read with this really well. I just have not, I've only used it for a couple of readings for others. Handful, not a couple. Say maybe like 5 or 6. But I prefer to, at this point with my journey with this deck, to just use it for readings for myself. Here's the, here's the guidebook. And here is the inside box. So I'm going to put that away. But yeah, the Moonchild is another favorite of mine that I got this year, that was sent to me this year, and it's a first edition indie deck. Then the next one that came to me would be, and they're actually kind of around the same time. Oh, 1 second, I just have to tell my son to be careful. Are you leaving? Mm-hmm. All right, be safe.
I will love you.
I love you too. Is your phone charged?
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye. I'm sorry, you're recording?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hello, world.
Okay, sorry guys. I just had to, it's actually, I'm recording this on New Year's Eve like a crazy person. I'm trying to get in a few videos before I go upstairs and hang out with my husband if he hasn't already fallen asleep. Uh-oh. Be careful. Commotion. So, this is Liz Houston's Dreamkeepers Tarot. I did an unboxing. I also mentioned this in my December favorites video, but I haven't published, or wait, no, I did publish a Dreamkeepers. So if you want like a much more in-depth look at it, please check that out. Check out that video. I just posted it. Here's the little booklet. It does come with a guidebook, but I chose to just have it with the here's the Four of Swords with the little booklet. I didn't want the guidebook. I'm trying to save space, and then, you know, as time goes on, we'll show all of these. This is Six of Swords, because like I said, I just did an unboxing, but I love the stock. I love it. I love riffle shuffling with it. It's like, trying to liken it to another stock. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's gonna fare better than some of the other indie decks that I have that it's with similar stock. But it's so buttery, and so far, I mean, I've used it in a few readings since I got this deck, and I've only had it a very short while. And it's had some on-point readings, and it's been a delight to read with. Sometimes I worry about some of these decks that I wonder if it's going to be too, like I'm not going to be able to work with it, but no, I think I can even work with it with reading for clients. And I think I will at some point. But until then, I love the Death card. Till then, I'm going to read it for myself, and like for New Year's readings tomorrow for my family. I'm doing a little end of the year welcoming of the New Year ceremony that I like to do with my close family members, and I'll probably do some readings, and I will probably end up using this deck more than likely, unless someone has another preference. So that's the Dreamkeepers Tarot. That's another, for me, first edition, born this year deck. And then finally, let's see, number 5 would be the 78 Tarot Mythical, which I have filmed an unboxing, but I know for sure I have not uploaded it yet. Maybe I probably am going to try to upload that video first before I upload this one, but maybe not. I haven't made up my mind. I've been kind of in this weird indecisive energy right now, and I'm hoping that that shifts and changes soon. Where I'm like, do I put it out now? What do I do? You know, second guessing when I put something out. It's just like ridiculous. I love that. It's a magnetic box. It is the last purchase I made for myself in the year 2018, and I love it. It was a Christmas present to myself. Here's the guidebook. Love that. Just love it. It's so chunky. Here's some cards, and check out or keep a lookout for the 78 Tarot Mythical unboxing. I gotta figure out what Oracle deck I'm gonna use with it. What's gonna be my go-to. I have some different decks that I can use, but it's gonna be fun pairing them and doing tarot combos to find some options and see what works. It's a collab deck, so 81 artists worked on the various cards. So you always run the risk of things not being so continuous or like, consistent. But if you kind of go into it with the understanding that, yeah, there may be some inconsistencies because it's different artists, but as long as they have a general theme they're working towards, it could work. And I like that each artist was able to bring their own unique interpretation of the card to life. It's great card stock. It's a larger card, which will work well, I think, in readings for others, in my video readings. It's an interesting Three of Wands, but certainly a mythical. Here's the Magician. We'll end with the Magician. So yeah, there you guys have it. It's my top 5 2018 decks, indie decks that were born in 2018, and that I received in 2018. If that makes any sense whatsoever. So yeah, I'm super excited about getting to know these decks more. They are gorgeous decks that I have in my collection. I always say, okay, I'm hoping that my deck collecting kind of slows down, and it ebbs and flows. There will be moments where I will go like a stretch where it's a couple months I haven't purchased anything, and then there will be a stretch where I'm like, I got like a couple of gifts this month in December, and then I bought some over the course of the year, pre-orders and things. So I'm hoping that in 2019 that things start to simmer down. The indie decks I have a weakness for, but they do hit the pocketbook quite hard, and I'm really trying to budget and save more in the new year. So I have a few more decks that are on pre-order that are coming, and so those will probably be, in videos later on as they, arrive. But I'm really going to try to stay disciplined and not buy any more expensive indie decks. Maybe trade, but maybe not purchase. We'll see how I do. All right, guys, let me know what your top 5 2018 indie decks were. I'm curious to hear what was in your collection or what was added to your collection in this past year. All right, you guys, much love, many blessings to all of you. Bye.